to take a deep dive into the recall reactivation program of the Staffless Practice Success System. But here's what I want you to understand before we do that. There are 3 pillars to our program, and we teach on all concepts and moving pieces of practice. The first pillar is preparing for success in practice, preparing personal strategies for preparation, business strategies for preparation. And that includes things like organization tools, charting, note-taking, getting your office ready, figuring out what you want to say to who and when you want to say it, time management, your tech stack, looking at the tools that you're currently working with your team to make sure everybody's sitting on the right seat of the bus, and finally compliance. The next step is we look at building all of the assets you need to efficiently and effectively reach your perfect practice member. So that's when we go into brand and website and building a practice suite and messaging, and your recall program lives there. So I'm going to say it. I just want to say it one more time. There's a whole pillar of content to do a deep dive on before we build a recall program for you. If you have a successful reactivation or recall program, it's successful because you've already figured out the piece with time, energy, money exchange. I'm going to talk about this a little bit deeper in this masterclass. I just wanted to introduce this concept to you before we take our deep dive. I hope you love what's coming up in this training. Most of us have a gym that we would like to frequent more than we do. And it goes on and on. Most of us have a yoga mat that we would like to get on more than we do. Most of us have a church that we would like to attend more than we do. What happens is life takes over, and it's not personal. It's not, I don't miss yoga class because I no longer like my yoga teacher. I miss it because I'm not always on point when it comes to my self-care picture. Or maybe I miss it because something happens with my schedule and I can't make Monday afternoons, and I'm too busy to text her and say, I can't make Monday afternoons anymore. What else do you have available for me? If my yoga teacher had this story that it was about her, she'd probably end up closing her practice, because something like a yoga class is a lot less frequented than your regular chiropractic adjustment, right? Or your dental appointment or whatever it is. And I always use my dentist as an example when it comes to reactivations. They have got this wired. I don't leave that office unless my next cleaning appointment is scheduled. And most of us can say that that's true for their dentist as well. Most of us can also say that they have a dentist. Can all of us say that we all have a chiropractor? Can all of us say that we all have a physical therapist or a psychotherapist or a nutritionist? Generally speaking, the answer is no. Why? Why is that? And the more I see that, the more I think to myself, I've got a lot of work to do. So from my very small corner of the planet, this is how it's always about protecting time, energy, money. It's always about efficiency and getting more done in less time. And by the way, we're doing a training on this on Wednesday. So please make sure you come to our live on how to grow your practice while you're cutting your admin. When it comes to reactivations, it's the number one thing you can do to keep your practice healthy. There's nothing more important, because it shows all of the people involved, yourself included, your practice members included, your team, if you have one, included, that your practice members are important to you. And that no matter how busy your life gets, you're still going to reach out to them because it's important to you, because that's what you signed up to do. I'm going to show you today the way to do that in as little time as possible. Here's what I don't want to see happen. I don't want to see you use automation with this system where it shouldn't be used, because it ends up looking really cheesy and slimy. And you do not want to do that with automation. So you have to be clean and clear with the system that you use to set this up. If you're one of our Sweet Success clients, and if you're watching the recording of this in the Sweet Collective, that's you. We set this all up for you. So in typical Jody fashion, I want to go through the who, what, where, when, why, how, and how much. With this one, I'm also going to go through how often. Um, and I'm going to use the example of me being a patient at my chiropractor's office. My chiropractor is old school. He still has his schedule on paper, like in an appointment book, right? However, he has this dialed in, and he'll see 40 people in a 2-hour period on paper. Okay. And here's what he does. And you guys, this is how easy it is. Hey Jody, you got your next appointment scheduled? Okay, watch the time. So right now it's 1:04. Hey Jody, you have your next appointment scheduled. This is after my adjustment. I'm not sure. I don't really know. And he knows I'm on every 2 weeks. He flips to every 2 weeks from now, and he makes sure that he sees me. And it takes what? Yep, you're here, or nope, you're not here. How's 2:30 or 3:45 work? That takes 15 seconds. That to me is not efficient because I don't have a book sitting in front of me with my schedule. If I said to him, and this is what usually happens, oh, I don't know, I need to go home and check my schedule, that will be me falling off of his radar because I'm not leaving there with one foot on this stone and one foot on this stone. This is this appointment, this is the next appointment. That's what usually happens, especially if we don't have a team, especially if we're busy. What happens is our practice members leave without their next appointment scheduled. Totally cool. I totally get it. So how do you do what you do and protect your schedule and protect your calendar? But more importantly, protect the care plan of your practice member. One way to do it is to make sure that in the beginning, some of my colleagues go from care plan to care plan, and care plan 1 looks like 3 times a week for a month. And I'm not saying this should be your care plan. This is an example. Care plan 1, 3 times a week for a month. At the report of findings, all 12 visits are scheduled. They're locked in, loaded, and the next reevaluation is scheduled too. Then they go to care plan 2. Care plan 2, twice a week for 6 weeks. Okay, that's an example. All 12 of those visits are scheduled, and the reevaluation is scheduled too. So there are 13 visits scheduled. Care plan 3, once a week for 6 months. All 24 visits are scheduled. Tuesdays at 3:00 sounds good. The reevaluations are scheduled in the middle of that and at the end of that. That's ideal. Who can do that? I can't do that. I don't even think that I could do that for my practice right now because of how much travel I'm doing and teaching I'm doing. So here's what usually happens with all good intentions. I have Sally come in. She gets set for 3 times a week for a month. And then somewhere around the second week or the third week, little Jenny's gymnastics practice gets changed from 4:00 to 5:00, and there goes Sally's schedule. And Sally falls off, life takes over, and she's off of my calendar for regular chiropractic care. It happens all the time. It has nothing to do with me. It has nothing to do with whether or not my care is effective. It's just life in 2025. So how do we take care of Sally? How do we make true on our promise? Sally, I'm going to take really good care of you. If you have a reactivation program in motion, it's going to take care of this piece, and your numbers are going to go from here to steady. Okay. The goal is that we look at our reactivation program once a month minimum. And I'm going to show you what all that looks like in a minute. No matter what you put in front of them, there are always going to be people in your practice who cannot schedule in advance. And that has to be okay, you guys. It has to be okay. I think the number one complaint we get from new clients is that they were in a coaching program that was pushing a square peg into a round hole. And they were being told to say certain things to their practice, to their client or their practice members, that just didn't align with their values. Like, I don't even know what an example would be. Like, If you don't comply with this care plan, I'm not willing to take care of you. I would never say that to a practice member, but there are coaching groups out there that tell us to do these kinds of things, right? I want you to make this perfect for your way of practice, for what feels good to your compass. Everybody has a different compass depending on what your history and where you've come from when it comes to setting the cadence and the boundaries and the policies around time, energy, money in the practice. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you. Who doesn't love a good Miro board? You guys, if you don't know the program Miro, please get familiar with it, especially if you're learning new processes and programs. It's Miro.com. It's pretty cheap to use, and it's kind of like Post-it and artwork like Canva and mind mapping, have a baby, and come up with this perfect program, Miro. So when I like seeing reactivations done on the 1st or the 15th of each month. Set a cadence that works for you, that works for your team if you have a team, but also that works for your practice members community. If I do my reactivation program on the first weekend in September, I can tell you right now, I'm not going to get anywhere because most of my practice members are kids. And moms and kids, they're getting ready for soccer practice and all of the things are happening. I'm going to reach out to them in the middle of the month in September once they've gotten into a routine. I would never do this the first week of the month of September because it won't go anywhere. I also do it in the middle of the day when most of my moms are looking at their phone when their kids are in school. That's the when for me. Who's your perfect practice member? When's the best time to reach out to them? Okay. If you take care of 65-year-old golfers, if that's your audience, you want to think about when are they most likely to check their messages and when are they most likely to be around and be available to give you their brain for a few minutes to get this set. What? The what of this, here's the what, is generally speaking, when it comes to any messaging sequence that I'm going to teach you, there's a text message involved. There's an email involved, and there's something called a voicemail drop involved. The voicemail drop is it looks like I called, but I didn't. A voicemail just pops up on the phone. And I think to myself, wait, did I miss a call? I didn't miss a call because it's a voicemail drop. It's not an actual phone call. You can schedule them in advance. So in the reactivation program, there's a text involved, and I'm going to teach you that in a minute. There's an email involved, and there's also a voicemail drop involved. Okay? These are all set it and forget it. These aren't the things that you do live. You set it up one time and you literally click a button and off to the races your recall program goes. Okay, and I'll show you that. Who, what, when. I'm going to get into appointment mining after I explain this. And I want to explain two birds, one stone. So because we're going to be sending out a text blast and sending out an e-blast, wouldn't it be lovely if we could take care of whatever other messaging we have hanging out, like announcing a closing or new hours or a promotion that we're doing, whatever the case might be, okay? Often, the reactivation protocol or messaging is the first text blast and the first email blast that we send out when somebody gets their brand new shiny practice suite. Because it gives you the opportunity to say, hey, I miss you at the office. Is everything okay? Text me back to get on the schedule. And by the way, I'm going to send you an email right now. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. So that's the text. The text is, hey, I miss you at the office. Everything okay? Question mark. And then the rest of the message might be something like, I'm sending you an email now too. Let me know if you don't get it. By the way, BTW, text back a 1 to get on the schedule this week, a 2 to continue your break from care, or a 3 to be removed from this list. That would be a text example of a reactivation workflow. I'm going to say it one more time. Hey, I miss you. It's Dr. Jody. By the way, I'm sending over an email now too. Let me know if you didn't get it. Text back a 1 to get on the schedule this week, a 2 to continue your break from care. This is the number 1, the number 2, and the number 3 to be removed from this list. This does a couple of things. It gives your practice members a non-confrontational way to say no to you. People are afraid of confrontation. And if you give them a really easy way to say, no, thank you, I love you, but no, thank you, they're going to respond and you're going to be able to clean up your list. It also allows you to point your text messages to your email. So here's the text message, and now we're looking at email. And the email is going to sound something like this. Hi, it's Dr. Jody here at Lights First Chiropractic. By the way, I just sent you a text message. Email me back if you don't get it. So they're pointing to each other. I miss seeing you around the office. Go ahead and email me back if you'd like to get on the schedule this week, or even if you want to continue a break from care. Is everything okay with you? And in that email, what I would do is I would make the header of it something like the person's first name and a question mark. They'll open it. Like for Sue, it would be Sue, question mark. And then Sue's going to be like, wow, Dr. Jody's emailing me. I hope everything's okay. Or I might even say, Sue, comma, everything okay? Question mark. That might be the title of the email. So now you have a text pointing to the email and an email pointing to the text. 2 birds, 1 stone. You get it? You could even do 3 birds on 1 stone, and in the text, you could point to the email. In the email, you could say, by the way, here are the announcements at the office right now. I wouldn't necessarily do that. But if this is your first text blast or e-blast, I do like the idea of you saying, by the way, this is our new texting number. Like remove any other numbers you have on file with us. By the way, this is our email address. Remove any other email addresses you have on file with us. As much as you can get out of the cookie bowl when you're making the cookies, as much as you can scrape it out with something like a reactivation program. That's a non-confrontational, kind way that takes you 3 seconds to send out, to blast out, okay? So where do you start? Because that's usually the question. Well, how do I know who to send this to? I do want to get Jane. You guys know that I'm a big fan of Jane app, but I promise you, whatever EHR program you're currently using, it's going to have something similar to what I'm about to show you. Let me just sign in really quick. Okay, I'm going to share my screen with you again. Okay. You guys can all see a Jane app window? Shrita, yeah? Okay. In Jane, there is I'm going to go to staff. Nope, I'm not. I'm going to go to settings, and I'm going to go to hold on.
I think it's under reports.
Where is reports? Thank you.
Next to your settings. Go back to the top.
Thank you, Jeanette. I was looking for it. Reports. And it's unscheduled patient report. So, hey, Jeanette, do you want to talk for a minute about what this has done for your practice? Do you mind if I put you on the spot?
My team member is saying, yes, put her on the spot.
You're on the spot, sister. What has this done for your practice?
It's been doing this system and doing recalls in general.
Mm-hmm.
It's helpful to get people set up back on the books. It's also good to update people's files, you know, because some people have responded like, oh, I just had emergency surgery that you wouldn't have known, right? So it's updating patients' files sometimes.
I moved to Africa.
Right.
You're probably not going to want to come to New Jersey for your chiropractor.
So yeah, so it's been helpful on that end.
So you guys can, thank you, my friend. you guys can edit this, and what it will end up doing is it will give you a report. I don't want to make a fool of myself trying to make a perfect report with dummy patients right now. But it'll give you a report, and in that report, it will have whoever has not been in and however long you tell Jane, I want this for the past 6 months. These are the people who have not been scheduled in the past 6 months, however you want to filter the report. This is the kind of thing where if you're like, hey, Jody's team, make the report for me. These are the things I want in it. It's going to end up giving you first name, last name. It's going to give you a whole bunch of shit, but you really only want first name, last name, email address, and cell phone number. You really don't need more than that. The most important step on this, if you're not coming up with this report, if someone is doing this on your behalf, whether it's a VA or a team member or my team doing it for you, and we put the important report in front of you, this is where automation can lose its power. You have to have your eyes on that report. Here's why. And I say this all the time, so I probably sound like a broken record. I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to go through the list of names that this report just populated, and I'm going to highlight any names that I do not want reached out to. There's always going to be at least, I'm going to say 5% of the names. So that's 5 names out of every 100. Whether it's that I just saw Sally in the supermarket and she already told me that she's taking a break from care, I don't want to put it in front of her again. It's rude. It's annoying. It's rude. It's impersonal. Or maybe I'm in let me give you another example. Maybe I'm in a PTO group with Barb, and Barb shares with the community that she's having really bad financial problems, or she's in crisis with her family. I don't want to send her a recall text the next day saying, hey, when are you coming in to get adjusted? It's impersonal and it's rude. Do you get it? Or maybe there's a fraction of your practice who you know for whatever reason, they're not going to come in no matter what you say. Take your highlighter and highlight those names and take them off. There go my glasses. Take them off of that list. You guys, just by the way, I'm super jet lagged. I was in Denver speaking at Mile High, which was ridiculously awesome. And then my husband forced me to do a 35-mile bike ride on hills like this yesterday, and I fell. So I'm a little half-mast right now, if you haven't noticed. So now you have a report, and the report is relevant to who you really want to reach out to. You're going to take that report and you're going to upload it into your practice suite. And when you upload that report, and again, we can do all of this for you, just point to it. Say, I want this report. This is the filter on it. And this is what I want you to name these people. This is the tag I want you to name them. And I'll explain that in a minute. Generally speaking, I'll name this tag. We're going into October, so it would be October Recalls 25. I would upload the report. I would upload the names. I would add that tag to all of the names, and it will merge like say Sally is already in my practice suite as a contact, it's just going to add this tag to her contact field so that when I then click, go ahead, recalls, do your thing, Sally's going to get it even though she's already been in my suite. And I'll show you that in a minute. Then Sally gets a text message, Sally gets a voicemail drop, and Sally gets an email. You can make this as complicated as you want. You can make it so that if Sally doesn't answer the text in 3 days, she gets another text. You can make it so that if she texts back a 2, her tag changes in your suite. I don't like making it that complicated though, because I find the more complicated, Jeanette, hear me say this, the more complicated you make your workflows, you're going to disconnect from the complication, keep them really simple. Because you can always add another text, another voicemail drop, yada, yada, yada. Okay, so that's the basic structure. It's got a voicemail, a text, and an email. Ideally, they're all looking at each other. They're all pointing to each other. So you're feeding 5 birds with 1 stone. You grab your unscheduled patient report, you download it, you highlight so that it stays personal. You're also going to see a lot of things with this where, like, that person was in 3 days ago. Something's wrong with this report. This is you clean up. This is the habit that you create in your practice. Just a by the way, without getting too distracted. Usually my by the ways are the best part of the training, so just hang tight. Okay. Any healthy marketing plan, right, has 4 quadrants. Inside habits, inside celebrations, outside celebrations. This is an inside habit. You got it? Healthy marketing plan, 4 quadrants, inside habits, inside celebrations, outside celebrations. This is an inside habit. And you want to do it regularly. If you use checklists, this is a rock solid checklist for a virtual assistant or a front desk queen. Here, this is part of your job. At one time, I had someone working for me like 25 hours a week, and her only job was taking care of my reactivation program. Can you imagine? We called every single freaking person. Not only did they not want the phone call, nobody wants the phone call, you guys. It puts them on the spot. It's uncomfortable. It's a waste of time, energy, and money. Don't do that. Send them a text. Drop the confrontation piece. I promise you it's going to take you far. Okay. Okay. So let me just go back to my Miro board. I do want to hit one more thing. Let's say that you download your report in Gene and there are only like 3 names on it. And you're like, it doesn't really make sense for me to do reactivations this month. My suggestion is probably 1, you're doing reactivations too often. You need to lighten your load a little bit, maybe do them once a quarter. 2, you want to check to make sure your report is correct. And 3, you might need to pivot what your reactivations look like. And here's where I suggest you go from there. There's a system that we made up called appointment mining. And if you're in the recalls portion of our program, there's a whole course on appointment mining, and I'll show you that in a minute. And it looks something like this. Instead of texting, I can do my recall text process. That's fine. I'll go ahead and do that, right? But I'm also going to take a look at my list of who doesn't have an appointment scheduled. That's why I like this report in Gina. I'm going to take a look at that list and I'm going to say, who on here is not on regular reoccurring appointments who should be? I will be on my chiropractor schedule for the rest of my life. As long as he's in practice and I live within an hour from him, I'll be on his calendar. There should never be a time that I don't have a held appointment. If he took, I'm going to have to tell him that I'm doing this. If he took 30 minutes and ran through that list and said, from the different set of lenses, you guys, I usually have glasses sitting here, but let's say the lenses now are who should be on my schedule regularly for a cadenced visit, once every 2 weeks, once a month, once a week, whatever your cadence is. And that's a whole other text, email, voicemail drop. We call it priority scheduling. And the text might look something like this. This is a really big deal for the practices who have a high retention rate who have not implemented this piece yet. And it's going to look something like this. Hey, Barb, it's Dr. Jody. We have a new policy in the office called priority scheduling. If you would like to have a standing appointment so that you never have to wonder whether or not you're going to be able to get on my schedule, click here and do this thing. Make it 1 click ready for Barb and 1 click ready for you. So you can take a right or a left when it comes to reactivations. The right is, hey, it's Dr. Jody. I miss seeing you. Text back a 1, a 2, or a 3. The left is, hey, it's Dr. Jody. I want to offer you priority scheduling. I'd like to offer you a regular reoccurring appointment. Does that work for you? Go do this thing. Go click on this button. The voicemail drop for either are going to be general. So for reactivations, it's going to be, And I want to consider privacy here, right? It's a big deal where I am and where I practice. Hey, it's Dr. Jody from Light Source Chiropractic. I'm thinking about you. I'm going to shoot you over a text right now. Hope everything's going well. That's it. I'm not saying, hi, it's Dr. Jody talking about your treatment plan for your migraines. No, it's nothing like that. It's very general. And if it's an appointment mining reactivation, it's going to be something like, hey, it's Dr. Jody. We're doing this really cool thing. This is how I talk to my people, so make this your own. We're doing this really cool thing here at Light Source. It's called priority scheduling. I know that you like to come in. I probably wouldn't say I know that you like to come in regularly. I wouldn't say anything personal about their care. I would say hey, it's Dr. Jody. I wanted to make sure that you knew about our priority scheduling here at Light Source Chiropractic. I'm going to send you an email about it now. And then the email is HIPAA compliant. You got it? It's cool, isn't it? And you guys, this totally was born from a need of me needing one button to click in order to maintain my practice while I'm doing 3 million other things. All of this is stuff that I'm doing on a regular basis for my chiropractic practice. Okay, let me show and tell a little bit. So I want to show you a couple of things. I showed you the Jane app report. So again, thank you to Jeanette. You go to reports, you go to unscheduled patients. I could just about promise my last chocolate bar that whatever EHR program you're using has a report like this. I really like Jane report for many reasons. So that's that. And then the Miro board, I went over everything here. Two birds, one stone, we went over that. Okay, cool. If you are already in the Sweet Success program, this is the course for recalls. You have to make sure that you're ready for the recalls course there, though. Don't jump ahead. You have to have your practice suite ready. You have to be in the, I'm warning you guys now, this stuff works. The warning is your practice will get busy if you do this. The warning is you have to protect and prepare your time, energy, and money for your practice to flood, because that's what happens when you have a strong recall program. So don't do this until you're ready for that. We have the 3 pillars of the Sweet Success program for a reason: prepare, build, and scale. This is scale. You want to make sure prepare is set. Your time management is on point. You can handle an influx of patients, because what you don't want is you don't want them to come in and drop out the bottom, come in the top, drop out the bottom, come in, because then you're on this merry-go-round. You want to set the stage for success and prepare with time, energy, money balancing. You want to build your recall program. That's the build pillar. And then you want to run the recall program when you're in scale. Prepare, build, and scale. It's there for a reason. Okay. Okay. Let me go back. So we are giving you an overview of the recall program in this course, and then there's a form that you want to fill out for our team to get everything in for you. We'll get your texting template, your voicemail. We'll even do the voicemail drop. We can use AI for it, or we can record it on our own. And then I also gave you a course on appointment mining. And then to look at what it looks like in a suite, this is a little complicated. It might hurt your brain, but let me just give you a general overview. In the practice suite, you've got your conversations happening in the conversations window. So let's say that I want Jody Dinnerman to be on the recall October 2025 workflow. All I would do is go here to tags and add her to that tag. I would add that new tag to Jody Dinnerman, and off to the races her reactivation program goes. If you would rather do appointment mining, then it would be probably AM for appointment mining 2020, October 2025. And then that would be a different workflow. I'm about to show you the workflow now. You want to also make sure, fair warning, if you're doing a voicemail drop and somebody is doing this overseas for you, they're setting this up overseas, and let's say they work at your 3 o'clock in the morning, their 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you want to make sure that you make it so that it's time sensitive to the person receiving the voicemail, to the person receiving the text, because there's nothing slimier than sending a text and a voicemail at 3 o'clock in the morning. And believe me, I've made that mistake. When you're going to upload your contact import, here are all of the contacts in a dummy suite. You can import, see the button here, it says import contacts. That's where you're going to import the contact list. My strong suggestion is you have my team do this for you. It's not the best use of your time. And then when you go into workflows, I want to go into automation. So guys, this is the line that's drawn in the sand where you're like, I don't need to know all of that. You guys be the brains behind this machine. However, if you want to understand it, because I know there are some of you that want to understand it, here's the workflow for reactivations, okay? The trigger is, every workflow is like, when this happens, do these 10 things. That's a workflow, okay? And it pulls in contacts and voicemails and text messages and letting people into different programs and sending an invoice. And the sky's the limit. You can do anything you want in an automated way. The hardest part is if you're going to wave the wand, knowing what's in your wave, knowing what the marching orders are. So in this workflow for reactivations, the start or the trigger is a tag gets added. And then this workflow has wait 1 minute so that it doesn't go out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Wait 1 minute and send this out between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. That's local to the recipient, not you. And then it's going to send a text out. And then add to recall process started. It's gonna add them to like a money workflow where you can kind of watch it all go down. I don't do that. It's too techy for me. Wait 2 days if they did not respond. This one does not have an email. We could very quickly make a workflow with a voicemail, drop an email, and a text. This one gets a little nerded out. Like if they do this thing, then make this happen. If they don't do this thing, then make these 3 things happen. You don't need to know all of that for this training. It's too heavy. If you want to know all of that, then book a meeting with our tech team. You don't need to know all of that though. Okay. I once had a, you know how you sign up for these programs and like you spend $20,000 and you're sure it's going to change everything forever. And you've just spent all this money and it just sits there. So I signed up for one of those programs and it was just sitting there. And I had a one-off meeting with one of the coaches and he was like 3 years old. No, he was really like probably in his early 20s. So he was very new in business. But he said something that stuck and it was worth $20,000. He said, if you don't tell them that you're there, they're not going to know that you're there. And it was a by the way comment. And I was like, oh my God, stop talking. I have to write that down. It's such a simple thing, you guys. But if you don't tell them that you're there, they're not going to remember that you're there. You're not that important. You're just the chiropractor. You're just the therapist. You're just the PT. I'll never forget the first time someone in my office answered their phone and said, hey, I'm at the chiropractor's. And I heard them say that. And I thought, you don't say that you're at Jody's? It's like, I'm at the lady down the street. I'm just the chiropractor. You want to stay in front of them. If you don't stay in front of them, you're not going to be in front of them. It's the truth. Okay. If you're watching this on Facebook, please join us on Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern for our live training on how to cut admin while you're growing your practice. If you are watching the recording of this, go make the world better with great care. If you're already part of our world, I'm loving you from here, and anything at all that you need, just let us know. We're here for it. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your day.